The one-off BOJ dividend of $33 billion will facilitate a $60 billion social and economic recovery and vaccine program for Jamaica. Madam Speaker, the $60 billion S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme, social and economic recovery and vaccine program, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme, will consist of the following elements. Madam Speaker, $10.5 billion in special resources for the Ministry of Health. This is, I'm not talking about the Ministry of Health normal allocation. I'm talking about what we could finance because we have this policy dividend. Madam Speaker, $6 billion for vaccines. Let me say it again. $6 billion for vaccines, $1 billion for PPEs, $1 billion for drugs and reagents, and Madam Speaker, very importantly, and the reason why it's important, these are real live issues and it's important that this knowledge is known. $2 billion for regional health authorities. The nature of the COVID pandemic, Madam Speaker, is that the Minister will tell you, it causes it causes expenses to arise in ways that you wouldn't expect. You have more catering, you have more cleaning, you have more security, you have more services. And the providers of these services, as the Minister will tell you, are often small businesses. And the bills are ramping up. So this $2 billion special allocation to the regional health authorities will help, Madam Speaker. And $500 million for additional COVID-related expenditure, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, very importantly, based on the current prices and supply that the Ministry of Health has, we are making provisions for the government of Jamaica to be able to finance the procurement of and the completion of coronavirus vaccination for 2 million Jamaicans whether it's double dose or single dose, depending on the supplier, Madam Speaker. So 2 million Jamaicans out of a population of 2.7 or 3 million, Madam Speaker, is over 60%. That is, Madam Speaker, the government will allocate funds under the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme. To make the attainment, the possible attainment of herd immunity in a single fiscal year fiscally feasible. The rest is up to the availability of supply, the logistics and distribution, all of which the Minister of Health will soon address. Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will allocate $31.1 billion to an infrastructure program to drive jobs and economic activity, improve productivity, and strengthen resilience.
That's right.
Consisting of $17.7 billion for the South Coast Highway Improvement Project. Now, it's important to understand the highway project is linked to a loan. But the way government finances occur, it's the expenditure that we have to be able to accommodate within our envelope. And if there are no revenues that can support the expenditure cannot come in, whether you have the loan or not. So this dividend, this level of expenditure
Member, I just want to remind you that time is running. I know under the standing orders you have time to speak on a motion, but as you stop to explain, we are running time.
So 17.7 billion for
that you are speaking on a motion and you do have time, but time is running against you now as I see you stopping to explain, and I'm looking at this presentation in front of me. So your time is running short. You have 10
Thank you, Madam
minutes.
Speaker. I will soon be wrapping up. So 17.7 billion for the South Coast Highway, Madam Speaker. $8 billion in a special public investment infrastructure program to improve productivity and increase resilience with the installation of drains, widening and dualization of major thoroughfares, construction of sidewalks, etc. And this is captured in the contingency provision for the public investment management system under the allocation to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. The S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will deliver $3.7 billion in secondary roads, repairing roads across Jamaica. Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will deliver $1.2 billion for the Montego Bay Bypass and $500 million for the construction of new police divisional headquarters in Westmoreland and a new forensic pathology suite. This is on top of what's already in the budget. Now, Madam Speaker, through a special effort, this represents the largest programmed allocation to physical infrastructure on tabling of the budget by the government at any time in the past, Madam Speaker. It's a historical allocation to physical infrastructure designed to promote jobs and economic recovery. And this is pure infrastructure and not mere capex. Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will provide $5 billion in targeted assistance, targeted financing for businesses that are affected by the pandemic. It will deliver $1.7 billion for rural farm roads and productivity incentives for agriculture. Madam Speaker, it will deliver $1.8 billion to expand Wi-Fi and broadband in schools and communities. Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will deliver $8.1 billion in targeted social support above and beyond what is usually provided, which will be targeted to the vulnerable and those who have fallen on hard times as a result of the pandemic. $6 billion of this amount is captured under the Ministry of Finance and Public Services allocation. There's $0.7 billion to the UDC and $0.8 billion to other MDAs. Madam Speaker, a total of $59.7 billion dedicated to our social and economic recovery and vaccines for Jamaica, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme. Now, Madam Speaker, I wish it could be bigger. I wish it could be 100 billion, 200 billion perhaps. But this isn't possible without what we have come to call running with it, or racking up debt that we cannot sustain, and punishing the poor and the vulnerable with the consequences, or by stopping the provision of certain services by the government, both of which would be undesirable. Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will provide the foundation for social and economic recovery beginning in the upcoming fiscal year. It will finance the procurement of vaccines required to keep us safe and healthy that are essential to our social and economic recovery. It will finance record spend on infrastructure to drive jobs and economic activity, improve productivity and strengthen resilience. It will finance social support for the vulnerable and those who are most affected by the pandemic. It will finance an improvement in digital connectivity and Wi-Fi in schools and communities. The S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will finance and support businesses, including agriculture, to boost the production that will be the foundation of our recovery. Madam Speaker, the budget Madam Speaker, the S.E.R.V.E. Jamaica Programme will assist in Jamaica's recovery, and Jamaica will recover, and Jamaica will recover stronger. Thank you.